Hello and welcome. Listen, life is real funny. This lesson is definitely for me today. Welcome. This is Bishop Designate Melvin Dawson. This is Bible study in between the white spaces. Thank you for sharing with me. I'm having some serious technical difficulties today. I've had to do some different things that I normally do, so I'm going to do the very best I can to make this really work on today. But thank you so very much. Elder Melvin Dawson, Overseer Dawson is watching. Deaconess Marie Bostic, she's watching. Thank you so very much. I'm sharing from a different screen, and I got to look in a different direction to do this lesson, but I'm going to do the very best I can. I'm glad. It's Tuesday, February the 20th, and I'm grateful to be able to share with you on today. Deaconess Ruth of Somerset, God bless you. Thank you for those who have tuned in today. My homeboy and frat brother, Antoine Ferguson, glad to have you, man. Listen, let's get started, y'all. I want to go to the book of Job on today, and I want to share something that I believe is going to be beneficial to us all. It is found in the book of Job, chapter 14, if you will, and verse 16, chapter 42 and verse 16, chapter 42 and verse 16. It says, I just want to lift up the first 4 words. King James translation says, after this lived Job. The Amplified translation says it like this. After this, Job lived. And the Message translation just has 3 words. Job lived on. That's it. Job lived on. I want to talk today from this subject, something to look forward to. Yes, that's what I want to talk about, something to look forward to. And I solicit your prayers, please. And again, I'm off script because I'm having some technical difficulties. But listen, I want to talk to someone today who is perhaps at the end of your ropes. I want to talk to someone today who perhaps is facing some obstacles that you find yourself trapped in. I want to talk to someone perhaps who's just not having a good day, or someone who is thinking about some things that must be done in your life, but they're just not occurring on today. Well, my brothers and my sisters, there's never been a biblical character like Job, who I believe has faced some of the greatest obstacles, trials, and tribulations to ever be recorded by humankind. You remember chapter 1 of Job opens up talking about he was a perfect and an upright man. He eschewed the very presence of evil. He had thousands and hundreds of cattle. He had sheep. He had a whole lot of stuff. He had a great family. And then in the run of a few verses in Job chapter 1, in the run of just some space of time, we don't know exactly how long each event occurred and when the next event happened, but Job ended up losing all of his sons and his daughters due to a tornado that ripped their house apart. Job lost his cattle. He lost his sheep. He lost all of his stuff. He lost just about every person that worked on his staff, except for one person who would always be able to come back and give a report. I don't know who I'm speaking to today, but certainly I don't want to discredit what you're facing, but seems like Job has the award for trouble. It seems like Job has the award for crazy days. It seems like Job has the award for when all hell can break loose it does. Seems like Job has the record for Newton's law. Anything that can happen will happen. I don't know who I'm talking to today, but sometimes, every now and then, we face this crazy thing called life. This crazy thing that wants to upset us and throw us off. This crazy thing that wants to totally discombobulate us. This crazy thing that wants to mess up our day and trouble our minds and our emotions and the space of our integrity. Well, I got good news for you, because I'm here to let you know today you have something to look forward to. Yes, I said it. In spite of what you're going through, in spite of what it looks like, in spite of what it feels like, in spite of what's going on and happening in your life, I'm here to tell you, you have something to look forward to. And that is, the text says, after this, Job lived. Y'all, living is something that is alive, something that can grow, something that can move, something that can reproduce, something that can respire, something that can carry out various things. Live. In spite of what Job goes through, the text says, after all of this, after everything that had happened, after his friends had forsaken him, after everything that had happened, Job still lived. So what do I see in between the white spaces of this text, or shall I say, in between the white spaces of these four words? After this, Job lived. After this lived Job. Job lived on. Three things, my brothers and my sisters, and I will let you go today. First of all, here's what will happen after this. You will become more accountable to who you are. Did y'all hear what I said? I said, I promise you, after this, you will become more accountable to who you are. In essence, someone who is accountable is someone who is able to give a satisfactory reason for what you're going through. I'm telling you, from now on, stuff like this will not catch you off guard. From now on, things like this will not throw you off. From now on, you will be accountable to who you are. Because of who you are, you know what is up against you. Because you know of your destiny. Because you know of the power that God has in the purpose of your life. You now will know and be accountable for who you are. You know you're a leader, and so you will be challenged in your leadership. You know you are a good person, and so you will be challenged to be bad instead of good. You know you are a righteous person, but you'll be challenged with unrighteousness, because after this you will know who you are. I wish I had a witness in here. After this, you will really know who you are and what you are made of. You win. This didn't take you out. It slowed you down, but it didn't take you out. It changed your schedule, but it didn't take you out. It caused you to divert some things or be delayed in some things, but it did not take you out. And so after this, you now become more accountable to who you are. You are who you are, and you now know better than anyone who you are. Not only will you become more accountable to who you are after this, but second of all, after this, you will now become more responsible for what you know. Did you hear what I said? Not only will you be more accountable to who you are, but you are now more responsible for what you now know. Now know. You'll be able, in essence, to know how things occur. You'll be able to know how to handle things. You're now responsible for the knowledge that you have. You're now responsible for knowing that this can happen and that can happen. And so now, because I'm more knowledgeable of this now, I'm better prepared to handle it. Are y'all with me? You're responsible. You're not just accountable to who you are, but you're now responsible for what you now know. Don't go through this and not learn a lesson. Don't go through this and not be perfected. Don't go through this and not be better than you were before you got into this. Yes, this is making you better, and you're now responsible for what you now know. What have I learned in this ordeal? What have I learned in this situation? What have I learned in this circumstance? You are responsible for what you now know. Didn't know it before, so I was not responsible for it. But now that I know how they are, now that I know what they are, now that I know how this works, now that I know how this will come against me, now that I know, I am now responsible for what I now know. Are you with me? So, here's something to look forward to. Not only will you be more accountable to who you are, not only will you be more responsible for what you now know, but last but not least, you are now more adaptable to the challenges that will come after this. Did you hear what I said? I said, now, here's something you can look for. You're more adaptable to the challenges that will come after this. Adaptable means you'll be able to adjust to new conditions. You'll be able to know how to, like a palm tree, bend when the wind blows rather than like an oak tree and be broken. You now are more adaptable. You can handle this thing because you have come through it after this. You're more adaptable. You can handle it now. You can deal with it now. You can accept it now. I'm more adaptable. I can handle how you talk to me now. I can handle how you respond to me now. I can handle if you're not willing to be what you ought to be, I'm still going to be who I am supposed to be. I can handle this now. As I hasten to close, because I only have 15 minutes, y'all. This is Bible study in between the white spaces. And so as I leave, here is my suggestions to you now that you have something to look forward to. Whatever you do, don't return to your old self. Yeah, whatever you do after this, don't return to your old self. You may have to drop some old friends or change how you deal with your old friends. You may have to change your behavior style. You may have to where you used to could kiki with them and laugh with them and smile with them about certain things. You may have to say, now, no longer am I going to kiki with this. No longer will I smile about this. No longer will I joke with you about this. You may never change, but I am going to change my behavioral response around you. You may have to change some old patterns of thinking, because God says, now that you have gotten to this point, after this is what you have to look for. All I know, y'all, that somehow God is saying today, listen, I've taken you through all that you've gone through. And I promise you, a blessing is coming. As the song says, I've been changed, healed, freed, delivered. I won't go back, can't go back to the way it used to be before your presence came and changed me. I pray that those who've been listening today, those who dropped in, I see a lot of your names. I didn't have time to call them today. I see a lot of my home people, see some of my relatives. Thank you all for sharing today. I see some friends. I see some preachers. I see some pastors on the line today. Thank you. I see folk from Atlanta. I see folk from Texas. I see folk from Ohio. I see folk from California today. I thank you for sharing. But listen, after this, you're all going to be better, because God has not taken you through this for you not to be a better person. So you have something to look forward to. You're now more accountable. You're now more responsible. You're now more adaptable. And because of this, you're going to be all right. I wish with the last 30 seconds I have, will somebody just type in the chat, I'm going to be all right. I promise you. Just put it in the atmosphere. Put it in the spirit. Type it in the chat. I'm going to be all right. Yes. I know a whole lot of stuff is going on, but I'm going to be all right. Thank you, Bianca, Wheeler. Thank you, Dr. Hughes. Thank you, Elder Alvarez. Thank you, Overseer Melvin. Thank you, Deaconess Marie. I'm going to be all right. That's all I got to say. I'm going to be all right. Listen, after this, I'm going to be all right. I could not have gone through this not to be better. I could not have gone through this not to excel and to be at a higher level than I was before. I'm going to be all right. I see you, Deaconess Q. I see you, Bianca. I see you, Michael Wilson. I'm going to be all right. Listen, my brothers and sisters, my time is up. And I pray that God has blessed you on the day. I'll see you on tomorrow. Better yet, some of you all see tonight. Bible study, Power 45 at Cathedral of Praise, ICFM Facebook page. See you then. I'm going to be all right.